our victim, Johnny Rains, Mitchell's friend and our accomplice, Mitchell Coles, Erica's boyfriend.
Our murderess. Erica Lynn Wack Harris was born on January 14th, 1992. And if you let TV1 describe her, they say that she lived a really soft life that a lot of people would describe her or refer to her as daddy's. I'm streaming. But we did a little digging, and according to her appeal documents, she claims that both of her parents were addicted to drugs and that she was on her own from the age of 16. Well, maybe she was his age of before 16. I don't honestly think you can know what your parents are going through and still love them. Two things can be true at the same time. Despite whatever her upbringing was, she did graduate from high school, she held down a steady job, and she did have hopes to enroll in school.
In a secondary education of some sort. A few years before this story takes place, though, Erica's dad passed away, and she loved her dad, and this took a really huge toll on her. We always say this, you never know how grief is going to affect you. Some people really put it into work, some people put it into art and music, some people become really introverted, extroverted, some people go down a really bad path, and some people find love in the wrong places. And that is how she met Mitchell Coles.
Mitchell Bryan Coles was born on May 3rd of 1994, so he's about 2 years younger than Erica. When they first met, Erica really felt like Mitchell was everything that she had been waiting for. This man was ready and willing to provide and protect her, and she liked the way that felt. What she didn't know at first, but quickly came to terms with, was that he was a drug dealer, and this is how he did provide the lifestyle he was providing for her. Now, this wasn't her first choice of occupation for her man, but Mitchell was sweet and looked out for her. And what was she supposed to do? Hold this little detail against him? No, it was something that she decided she was willing to look past. She was also willing to look past his extensive rap sheet that included shooting, robberies, things of that nature. But still, she felt a bond with him. She loved him. Now, of course, this relationship and this love caused people around Erica to notice a significant change in her. Like the people who she's hanging around, the company that she's keeping, the man that she's dating, the things that she's doing. But her daddy just died. Everybody's cutting her a little slack because people act out in grief. They got to redefine themselves, especially you losing a parent. It's such a loss that you got to redefine your life at that point. And everybody processes things differently. So if this man was helping her through it, even if there was some things that we didn't like about him, at least she had somebody who cared about her, right?
Because she was lonely.
Now, the two had been dating for a while. We don't know exactly when Erica and Mitchell started dating. We know her dad died in 2014. And we know that in 2016 she is dating Mitchell, but we just don't know for how long. What we do know is that on March 24th of 2016, Mitchell asked Erica to meet up with his plug to pick up some weed. He gives her $800, the address, and sends her to meet a guy named Savon.
That's right. So she rides her own car because it's only safe to assume that your drug dealing boyfriend doesn't have a car. Her gray Ford Focus, and she meets up with Savon Lamont Scott Porter. Now, Savon was born on April 5th, 1994, to his parents, Jerome Ponder and Alicia Scott. He has one brother named Carlos and a sister named Carla. Dang, he got the S name. Everybody got C's. He was described as hardworking, kind, creative. He was currently a student at Indiana University at Pennsylvania, and my man's loved to look good, okay? He got a passion for fashion. He was a fashion major. He already had his own clothing line, and he was really picking up work to get himself through school. He had a girlfriend at the time, and both of them looked good. My man's was always fresh, had a sneaker collection, had his own collection. He was putting in work to really build up his future. Then his girlfriend that he's dating says, "Baby, I got to tell you something." He said, "What, boo?" She said, "I'm pregnant." And he said, "Okay, all right." Now, neither one of them were expecting a baby to be put into the picture, but Savon is going to step up because he a man. And so that means that he needs to work a little bit harder. He needs to get a few more checks because he's about to be a father, and that shit expensive. And so he started picking up just minor drug dealing so that he could bring in a little extra income.
Now, as Erica is headed to Savon's, she's under the impression that she's there to pick up weed because Mitchell told her to go pick up weed. And this weed, Mitchell is then going to go sell himself. She know how the game go. So she pulls up to Savon. They meet up. She's like, all right, here the money. Give me the weed. He said, I ain't got no weed. Take these Xannies. And she said, no, Mitchell sent me here to get weed. He don't sell Xannies. He don't got the clientele for Xannies. And that's not what I was told to pick up. He said, well, all I got is Xannies. So you want the Xannies or you want nothing? And she was like, I want the weed. He was like, you want the Xannies or you want nothing?
And she's like, I'm not a drug dealer. I've never been put in this situation before.
No. And she's like, I guess you can just give me the money back. And he was like, you ain't getting this money back. You already gave it. Like I said.
I'm mad that man was like spade stick.
So she calls Mitchell and she's like, hey, so I'm over here with Savon, right? Like you told me to. And I gave him the money and he gave me Zanies. But I thought you wanted me to pick up weed. He was like, I do want you to pick up weed. And he was like, tell him to get you weed. And I was like, I did tell him to give me weed. He said he ain't got no weed and I can just leave with nothing. He's like, the foot? And she was like, I know. So what you want me to do? And he was like, oh, hell nah. You play with my girl, you play with me.
You playing with my money, Smokey?
You don't like that. You playing with his money. You playing with his girl. He's feeling disrespect at the highest level, right? Because these two things, you don't fuck with a nigga with these two things. Not about his money and not about his girl and not about his mama. So he done fucked up twice in the same hand. So he was like, girl, come pick me up. We better straighten this shit out. So she leave, go pull up, pick up Mitchell. Now, before they go back to Savon apartment, Mitchell tells her to pull over to his homie Johnny Raines' house. Johnny Lee Raines III was born on September 14th of 1995. Now, Johnny and Mitchell go way back. They would consider themselves very close friends because the niggas trauma bonded by getting shot together in 2014.
That is a way to.
You remember?
Remember we was laid up at that hospital bed together?
Listen.
Roomies. So the three of them, with Erica driving, would ride back to Savon's house to see what's going on. Now, Savon lives down on Boggs Avenue. They knock on the door. Knock, knock, knock. Savon answers, and he comes outside. Now, Savon lives with his girlfriend and a roommate. His girl wasn't at home, but his roommate was like, you good, bro? He said, yeah, I'm gonna go out here real quick. I'm good. And Savon goes outside. Now his roommate was being nosy, peeks through the window, see what Savon getting into, and he sees Savon get into the passenger seat of this Ford Focus, this gray Ford Focus. He sees that there's a bitch in the front and two dudes in the back, and Savon is in the passenger side. So back in the car, they're chatting for a little while, and Savon is like, listen, man, I'm gonna tell you straight up, the money's gone. I took that $800 I got from your girl. I put it in with $100 of my own money, and I bought $900 worth of Zans because that's my clientele. Because I'm trying to flip it, and they like, wait. So in that short period of time, you ain't got shit. You ain't got no money. You didn't give us what we came over here for, and you don't even have the money to give me a refund for what I want. He's like, that's basically it. He said, we gonna take a ride. And while they riding, Savon is feeling like they like some shit not going right. Like some shit is not working. And so they're riding down the street, and next thing you know, don't know what happened in the car. I can't tell you, I wasn't in the car. But Savon realizes that his life is in danger, and he does like a tuck and roll out of the car, and he books it. I mean, he runs. And when he's running, you can see that he had on like a wife beater, and it's ripped up. So, them niggas was behind him. Maybe they had guns to him. Maybe they was ripping on his shirt and shit, because his shit was ripped, and he is running. He runs behind a building at a store, up a steep hill. This nigga is going. Zigzags in the back corner of some place, running. And all the while, Erica is still driving. She trying to hit a 3-point turn because she trying to figure out where he gonna come out at so that she can block him with her car. And Mitchell and Johnny, I mean, they are booking it. Johnny was the better runner. Mitchell got a little tired at the end, but they was booking it trying to catch Savon. And then all of a sudden, Savon goes behind a building and they catch him. And then they start walking this nigga back to the car. And they was walking this nigga like he was walking a mile, gotta get right with Jesus. I mean, they was walking him like they was the damn police.
They get back in the car. Mitchell tells Erica to drive to Beltoover. So Erica drives 2 miles to Buffington Ave and parks her car on a dead-end street. Mitchell and Johnny get out the car, and they tell Savon to get out the car, and they lead Savon into the woods. Erica waits in the car. Now, in the woods, they tell Savon, take your shoes off. Because to them, this meant that Savon wasn't going to run away if he had no shoes, right? That's what they say, at least. Now, Savon's like, please, dog, don't do this, man. I got a kid on the way, please. Like, we can sort this out. I'm sure I can make this money back. Like, we don't have to go like this. Mitchell and Johnny, they like, nah, bro, we ain't trying to hear that shit. Savon was like, well, what you gonna do? You gonna pistol with me? You gonna beat my ass? What you trying to do? Like, nigga, just sit down, be quiet. They not giving a fuck about this nigga life right now. Savon realized something bad's about to happen. He starts praying. Yea, though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, I fear no evil. Mitchell takes the gun, points it at Savon, and shoots him once. After shooting him, he passes the gun to Johnny. Johnny then empties the clip on Savon. Then Mitchell and Johnny go back to the car with Savon's shoes, but without Savon. They get back in the car and nobody says anything. And Erica just drives. And nobody talks about what just happened. They just sit in silence. Now, it is broad fucking daylight when this happened. And Savon already knew it was bad news bears when Erica left to go get her man. He told his roommate back at the house that he was in trouble because he owed these people 100 Xanny pills and some weed. So when Savon left the house, his friend peeking out the window like, hey, bruh, it's one of those, if I'm not back in 30 minutes, send help type situations. So his friend is looking out the window. He sees Savon get in the car with these people. And not too long after, he hears gunshots. So the roommates decide Savon ain't back by now. I'm hearing these gunshots. This nigga just told me he in trouble. I'm gonna call the cops. I'm gonna definitely call the cops. Now, not the only one to call the police. There's a concerned citizen out there, and she decides to call the police too because she heard gunshots, and she said, not up in my neighborhood, not up in here. The police pull up to the area, and she is actually outside waiting on them. And they pull up, they was like, man, we got a call. You think about it? She says, go down there. I heard gunshots coming from over there. So they go and they check it out. The detectives on scene are Joseph Fabian, Martin Kell, and Daniel Zeltner. They go to the scene and they find Savon's dead body in a wooded area in the Beltoover neighborhood. It's clear to them that Savon has been shot multiple times. He's face down in a pool of his own blood, and they can see that he's shot in the stomach and in the face. The paramedics arrive and they try and give first aid, but it's already too late. They look on his body for any sort of identification, but he's not carrying a wallet. He doesn't have any ID on him. They don't have a lot of evidence at the scene. They're just like in this wooded area. All they have is 7 shell casings and that his shoes are missing, which they feel is like a clue, but they don't know what the clue means. But they take his fingerprints and they realize that this is the body of 21-year-old Savon Scott Ponder.
So the first thing they do is they go back to the witness that pointed them in the direction of Savon's body, this woman. And she says that she saw a car drive down at the dead end of the road. And she was like, it's really weird because, like, if you from here or you around here, everybody knows there's nothing down there. There's no reason to go down there. There's no reason to park down there. And I saw 2 men and they dragged this other dude into the woods. 3 men total went into the woods. Next thing you know, I hear gunshots. Clear as day, I know what gunshots sound like. Boom, 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 boom. It sounded like multiple people emptied their gun. And then after that, I saw 2 men come out holding a pair of shoes and they hopped in a gray car. And they were like, what kind of car? She was like, a Ford maybe, like something like that. And the police are thinking, damn, like it wasn't one shot. They emptied the clip. Usually that means that overkill, like is somebody trying to send a message, like I don't know. They take the body to the coroner. Turns out he was hit 14 times. They're like, 14 times ain't over some shoes. Niggas get robbed for their shoes every day and still live. It couldn't have just been that. So throughout the night, investigators, they have to go do the hard part. They have to talk to his parents. They have to talk to his friends, his family. And when they talked to his mom was able to tell the police that he was living, at 5 Boggs Avenue, which is about half a mile away from the crime scene. And they're like, okay, well, let's go down to where he was living and see if there's any witnesses there. They go down there. Savon's girlfriend is there. Savon's roommate is there. He's like, about time you got here, I'd have been called. And he tells the police that he saw Savon like the day before. Savon was acting a little strange. He didn't really know what it was about, but Savon is a small time drug dealer. He's not moving big weight around. He's just moving enough to help cover rent and maybe small bills around the apartment. He's saving up so that he can have a baby. He also mentioned that Savon was like, oh, I gotta go sell some drugs, some Xanax to this lady. And they're like, who was he selling to? He didn't even tell me who. He just said some girl. He sold some Xanax to this girl and he came back in with $800. And shit, nigga had $800 in his pocket. He was feeling good. He was happy. Next thing you know, later on that day, there's a knock on the door. And people want to talk to Savon. He goes out. I peek out the door. He gets into a gray car. A gray car, you said? Yeah, a gray Ford Focus or something like that. And okay, did you know anybody in that car? All I can tell you that it was a girl driving. It was two dudes in the back seat. And that's all I got. And they're like, okay, a gray car with a girl driving and two dudes. It sounded like the witness that called that we spoke to earlier. Things are starting to come together, but we're not sure the official tie yet. But something is coming together.
So the detectives take all this information and they're like, okay, this is starting to sound like a drug deal that's gone bad. So they start scoping the area, trying to see if anybody has any surveillance cameras. And turns out they do. They get video from a local business further down Boggs Avenue. And they're watching this. And as they're looking at this footage, they see Savon hop out of a moving vehicle. What vehicle? A gray Ford Focus. So they see Savon do his tuck and roll. They see two men who they don't know who it is right now. They see them get out on either side of the car and they see him chasing them. They're looking at him and they're seeing this torn up beater and stuff. And it's like, okay, Savon is already in danger at this point. And now these guys are running beside him, chasing him through the street, through the woods. They have also jumped out of this car that was not parked. It was just driving down the street. So they have also jumped out of the car after this man with the torn beater. So it's giving danger. So in addition to that chase, they see Erica driving her car, turning the car around, looking as if she's trying to cut them off. They continue watching the video to see maybe if they appear back up later, and they do. They now see these two men escorting Savon back to the car. And so the detectives are like, this is clearly the last moments of Savon's life. But there's a silver lining. The good news is we can also see who the other two dudes on the video are. And when I say we can see, fuck the grainy, but we can see. Mitchell looked like he damn near looked into the camera. So they now have faces to scan and work off of. But in addition to that, they also have the car and the car's license plate. So they've got everything they need to start tracking down some leads. They run the tags on the car, and the car is registered to Erica Harris. And when they search her name, pull her up, they have nothing on this girl. No run-ins with the law. It's just a 24-year-old regular girl. So it's not even making sense how she's playing into this part. They scan some faces on the surveillance footage, and one of the males pop up as Mitchell Coles. And he is bing, 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 pinging on charges. They've got an idea of who this man is.
The whole precinct was like, we know who that is.
That Mitchell at it again, boy. He got gun charges, he got drug charges. Like they know exactly who that nigga is. So they have Erica, they have Mitchell, and the police are like, okay, these are two of our three suspects in Savon's murder. They've got an address on Mitchell. They go to the place that he's living at. And what's outside but a gray Ford Focus? The cops are like, y'all make it too easy sometimes. So on March 27th, they arrest Erica and Mitchell without incident. And the two of them pretty much surrender almost immediately. Take me, it's okay. They take them to the police department and they're held there for interrogation. First, they start off with Erica. And the detectives are like, we're going to bring you into question. And she's like, that's cool. And it was like, all right, well, we might be here for a minute. Is there anything you want? She's like, what you got? And get you a sandwich, get you a drink. We got ice cream sandwiches. She said, ooh, it's been a minute since I had an ice cream sandwich. Let me get one of them. And it was like, red flag number one. Because most people who are innocent want to get the fuck up out of here, not have a snack.
I don't think that is it. Y'all got me in here. Y'all might as well give me a snack. What kind of snacks y'all got? Shit. Since you got me up in here.
Listen, I think I might not want to eat if I'm guilty. I'm going to be too nervous.
Exactly. I might throw it up. Shit. You got me in here. You want me to say something?
I ain't got nothing to say, but an ice cream sandwich sound good.
I ain't never even heard of them offering. And don't let you have the good kind. Like, if you got the great value, I might pass.
Right.
Probably won't, but I might pass. But let you have something good.
I don't know, Savon. I don't know about an abduction, and I don't know about a murder. And the detectives are like, listen, tell you what, we got something that's called Queen for a day. What this means is I'm going to let you tell me everything that you know. And I mean everything that you know. And if you do that, I'll make sure you get a lesser sentence. But you got to tell us everything, even if it includes you, even if it includes other people. We got to know everything. And Erica says, I think we should just wrap things up here. They said, that's fine. And they officially charged her with kidnapping and murder. From there, she was taken to the county jail.
All right. So next up is Mitchell. They always start with the ladies first. I think they be thinking that she gonna crack 1st They think the women are gonna crack. Next up, they talk to Mitchell. Mitchell says the same thing. Savon. I ain't even never met nobody named Savon. Detectives show him all the evidence they have against him, mainly the surveillance video. And in that surveillance video, like I said, Johnny was running quickly, and Savon got tired. And Savon, he didn't look up at the camera, but he was just like tired. He'd be looking up and tired. And I said, that's his whole face right there. And they said, that's you, ain't it? He said, and they caught me on camera. Wasn't me. He said, I didn't do anything. He said, well, why are y'all running? He said, we was racing. Clearly I lost, but shit, we was racing. Foot race. Black boy joy.
Deep sigh. Deep, deep sigh.
And he was like, okay, so what about your girl, Erica? He said, Erica didn't do nothing. She ain't had nothing to do with nothing. She was just kind of like, she was just driving me around that day. That's my girl. Little did he know, dumbass, you implicated Erica because she said she ain't had nothing to do with neither one of y'all all day. So they're like, okay, we're going to arrest you too until we find out something else. And you just sit there and ponder and let me know if you come up with anything else. He said, I'll let you know, but I ain't got shit. So they sitting in jail and they do jail intake. And when you do jail intake for the ladies, they give you a pregnancy test. And Erica found out she was pregnant.
That is the worst way to find out. Nah, I'm getting taken into jail for murder and I done found out I'm pregnant. Lord, please.
She had no idea that she was pregnant, but she found out while she was locked up. But let me tell you what, that pregnancy made her have a change of heart. She said, excuse me, can I talk to the detectives again? I think I've got something to say. She just wants to have a chance to see her baby. And at this point, like, now, you'll be surprised. Your decision-making changes as soon as you get pregnant.
Listen.
Take it from somebody that knows. Like, it's not, having a kid around you is one thing, but when, like, there's one growing inside of you, your decision-making changes.
Listen, she said that Queen for a day thing.
You know what I'm saying? She said, is that offer still stands? And so she goes back to the detectives and she's like, okay, I will give you a statement. And they're like, we want a statement. And they agreed on some of the conditions of said statement. Some of the conditions were that she had to tell the police everything she knows about Savon's murder. She had to relinquish her phone and allow it to be searched forensically. She also had to cut off all communications with Mitchell. And she's like, okay, cool. And she was a little nervous, but she ended up signing the deal anyways. And from there, she told the detectives everything that happened the day that Savon was murdered. And that is when police finally found out who the second man was, Johnny Raines. Because nobody brought up Johnny. They didn't know Savon. They didn't know who that other nigga was. And they was just racing. And she said, and then it was Johnny. And so they're like, okay, we need to figure out where Johnny is and go pick up Johnny too. She's like, I was scared. I was really scared that day. Like, me and Mitchell he's pretty abusive. And so me not going through with what he says ends up being a detriment on me. And I didn't want that to happen. So she runs the day from the top to the bottom and lets them know everything. And they're like, okay, let's go find our boy Johnny.
With the confession, they get a warrant to arrest Johnny. So the next day, March 31st, they pick him up. Now, this is the same day as Savon's funeral, which was held at the House of Law in Penn Hills, Pennsylvania. Now, when the police pick up Johnny, they take him to the interrogation room, and it was like, got a little murder situation going on here. Your name has been brought up. Anything you want us to tell about it? He says, I ain't shoot anyone. And I didn't plan to kill anyone there. It was like, tell us what you was doing there. Why did you go? If you didn't go to kill nobody, what did you kill to do? And Johnny sitting there tight lip. I ain't got shit to say to y'all niggas. The Texans are like, listen, Mitchell and Erica have already told us that you're involved. So you might want to tell us your side of the story before we're just forced to believe their side. Johnny says, I said I'm not talking. So the detectives go back and they're like, okay, couldn't get Johnny to crack. Let's take another try at Mitchell. So they go to Mitchell and they was like, listen, Erica has already told us what happened. So you might want to give us your side. So he says, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll take a plea. You got a plea for me? You did a plea for her? You do a plea for me? It was like, yeah, we might be able to work out a plea for you. So he's like, okay, I did what was necessary. I couldn't let Savon get away with ripping me off. He disrespected me. He disrespected my girl. It was like, so tell us what happened. And he begins to tell them what happened. He mentions how Savon started praying before he killed them. And after his confession, he agreed to plead guilty to conspiracy, kidnapping, and third-degree murder. Later that month, with the cards stacked against him, Johnny decides he's going to plead guilty too. So by May 8th of 2017, Erica has bonded out. Now, remember, she took the plea deal where she pleads to kidnapping and conspiracy to commit kidnapping. And the state agreed to drop the third-degree murder charge for her confession, recorded statement, but also for her to no longer have contact with Mitchell. Well, Erica's pregnant. She's dealing with all alone. The love of her life is in jail. And they don't want her to speak to him. Your girl thought she was slicker than oil. So she stays in contact with Mitchell almost daily. Not even playing it cool, almost daily. Ending it, and I love you. It's not, I hate you. Why'd you do this? I'm going to turn you in. Nothing that would turn in her favor, but I love you, holding it down. See you on the other side. You know what I mean? So the police decide right before they go to sentencing, they're going to look in and see what everybody been up to, making sure everybody's upholding the terms of their agreement before we get to final sentencing. And they see that Erica is not. She has violated the plea agreement already by talking to her baby daddy. So now they're throwing back in the third-degree murder charge in addition to her conspiracy kidnapping charge.
Which is like, girl. All you had to do was not talk to this nigga. Her sentencing hearing was held on August 2nd, 2017, in front of Judge Anthony Marani. The prosecutor's name was Miss Chelsea Pratt, and Erica's attorney's name was Frank Waller. The prosecution said that Erica was promoting violence from the start. They said that Erica had multiple opportunities to think about what was going on and what would eventually happen to Savon. The prosecutor also said that the death to Savon wouldn't have happened without Erica's participation and facilitation. She said that she was the person responsible for driving both the victim and her co-defendants to Savon's house and to the dead-end road near the woods where Savon was murdered. And no, she may not have been the person that pulled the trigger, but she said, quote, all these things could not have happened without her. Miss Harris drove to the victim and physically transported him to an isolated area. She argued that Mitchell and Johnny basically acted as her muscle. Now, when Erica's attorney, Frank Waller, showed up, he argued that Erica should get a more lenient sentence out of the three parties because, quote, she cooperated with authorities. And think about the difficulty of her daughter growing up without a mother. This girl is never going to see her mother outside of prison if you don't give her a light sentence. And doesn't this young, innocent child deserve that? Her attorneys also argued that she didn't and couldn't have gotten possession of a gun while driving and asked the court to take that into consideration during the sentencing as well. At the end, Erica was allowed to speak. The first thing she did was apologize to Savon's family. She said, quote, I've had a lot of time to reflect on the decisions I've made. I am sorry and I hope God will forgive me. I'm rehabilitated as a person. I ask to not be written off so I can teach my daughter right from wrong, end quote. The judge said he was hesitant to believe her because this all happened because of her, and she kept in contact with Mitchell, and she was specifically told not to. He said, quote, you demonstrated you were going to protect Mr. Coles. She's helping the bad guy and not the Commonwealth. You pose a substantial threat to the community, and today you're going to be held accountable, end quote. Savon's mother, sister, and brother gave impact statements that day in court. They talked about Savon being a dedicated man to his job and his family, and they asked for the maximum sentence possible. Carla, his sister, said, quote, no person should have the audacity to play God and take someone's life, end quote.
Carla ended up being sentenced to 15 to 30 years for third-degree murder charges and 5 to 15 years for the kidnapping offense and got no sentencing for the kidnapping conspiracy charge for a total of 20 to 45 years of incarceration. Mitchell got 20 to 50 years and Johnny got 20 to 45 years. Shortly after being sentenced, Erica files a nunc-pro-tunc post-sentence motion to withdraw her guilty plea in hopes that she can be reconsidered for her sentence. And as of February 13, 2018, that motion was denied. She files another appeal, and she also files a pro se application for relief because she wants to fire her attorney and represent herself on the appeal. Now, during the course of this, it's brought to the court's attention that her lawyer's license to practice law was suspended on or after January 28th of 2019. I don't think it was exactly the lawyer's license, maybe the firm that they were working for. Maybe it was another thing of not paying fees, who knows. But on the court documents, it only listed Scott Allen Westcott Esquire, not her lawyer by name, but technically her lawyer was not allowed to practice law. What that also meant was that she didn't actually have legal representation for her pro se application. A hearing was conducted to make sure that Erica wanted to proceed without legal representation on May 8th of 2019. And I guess she decided probably not. And the court issued an order stating that Megan Loftus was now representing Erica. Now, she didn't get all her paperwork in time, so, excuse me. So only 2 of her issues got brought to the court. One was that the trial court erred in abusing its discretion in sentencing her to an excessive and identical sentence as the co-defendants, which I can see. I was only driving, they had the gun, but we getting charged equally. Maybe there's an argument there. Also, did the trial court err in refusing to grant her motion to withdraw her guilty plea based upon ineffective assistance of counsel and Erica's failure to enter a voluntary and knowing plea, considering the following factors. 1, the trial counsel never reviewed all the evidence obtained through discovery with Erica. 2, they didn't review the affidavit of probable cause or present it as evidence in the sentencing record. 3, they advised her to answer yes in order to continue the plea hearing, and she didn't agree with her answering yes to whatever question was asked. She also said that her counsel never brought up the fact that her parents were drug addicts and that she was succeeding in life despite being on her own since the age of 16. This is just a small blip in her record, and if we could all look past that, she'd greatly appreciate it. She also said that nobody talked about her being in an abusive relationship with Mitchell, and that's one of the reasons she was still in contact with him. She was under this spell, right? The abuse spell. So the appeal court looks into all of this and they say they find no errors and her sentence is affirmed.
Now, of course, she did give birth to a baby girl while she was in prison. We're not sure where her daughter is now. I'm hoping with family. Erica is now located at the Muncie prison in Pennsylvania. And in 2025, there is this nonprofit called the Prison Journalism Project. And it's a pretty cool nonprofit that works with people inside of prisons. According to the Prison Journalism Project, their vision is to help create a national network of incarcerated and formerly incarcerated correspondents who can report on news, stories, and lived experiences from inside and around prison for mainstream media. Within this project, they can report on news and happenings inside of the prison that might impact the local community. They can provide the prison perspective on stories about hurricanes, wildfires, and other natural disasters. The possibilities are endless. The more we do this work, the more we know that writers and journalists inside have the potential to contribute deep and meaningful reporting and perspectives that can enrich mainstream coverage. However, we also know that working with incarcerated writers can be logistically challenging, especially if you have never done so before. So in January of this year, 2025, she worked with this program and she wrote an article of her own. And this article was entitled, "Should Incarceration Deprive Me of Having Another Child? Detaining women during their childbearing years effectively renders them infertile, a violation of our reproductive rights." In this article, she expresses that when you come out of prison, a lot of people have the hope of creating a full family after incarceration, but that hope is really limited to men. And she says, quote, "I will be at least 45 years old by the time I'm released. The average age menopause in the United States is 52, but the transition can start years earlier. By the time I get out, the probability of having another biological child naturally is unlikely, according to the American College of Optometry and Gynecology. Adopting a child is not an option, as Pennsylvania law precludes felons from adopting and fostering children in most cases." Also in this article, she argues that it's a sexist form of punishment because men are not subject to the same limitations that women are when it comes to reproduction. She says, quote, "Residents in my facility can be prescribed birth control pills and have hysterectomies performed. But when I requested a conversation with the facility OBGYN about fertility preservation, I was denied." She got a note back saying, "We do not offer fertility treatments at this facility." And she brings up the fact that other countries with public healthcare systems, such as Spain and fertility treatments for incarcerated people. And some places in the UK allow incarcerated people to apply for access to fertility preservation treatments. It's crazy because like she was 25 when this happened. And I'm thinking about me at 25. I knew I wasn't ready for kids. Like if I found out I was pregnant at 25, but I always knew that I wanted to have kids, right? And even now, like if I got arrested and I was doing big time right now, I know that I don't want just one. I know I want more than one because everybody knows I'm pregnant right now. And so the conversation of even like, is there an option to preserve the eggs that you have? Because men, they can shoot off until they're dead, but women don't have those same things. And I thought it was a very interesting, thought-provoking article. What did you think, Tess?
I thought she made a great
It was
argument.
well written.
I thought she made great points.
Thank God it was well written.
The whole sexist thing, you're right. That's not something that men have to worry about. Niggas is having kids at 60, 70.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I know y'all hate to waste y'all government dollars on somebody in jail, but
it's also America. It's for somebody that's incarcerated, double whammy. It's for a woman, triple whammy.
Yeah.
And it would need to be like something that health and big pharma or like a big health corporation would have to pay for. So we're asking for public health service, which is quadruple.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting to think about because I can see arguments of people being like, well, you took my child. Why should you have another child?
But that's not how this works.
But also, like, you can look at Mitchell and say the same thing, and he gets out at 45 and he can have another child.
Exactly. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, so I think it was a very interesting argument. And it is one worth considering. And I don't think that the American government is even thinking about considering something like that. You have to care about the people that are out and the reproductive rights of people that are out. before you can even think about the reproductive rights of somebody that's incarcerated. But I do think it's very interesting to see that these other countries are at least granting you the option. Maybe there's criteria that you have to reach. Maybe I could honestly see if you were in there for like a long time for a non-violent crime, then maybe you would be more likely to be eligible for reproductive rights. But that really doesn't help Erica because she's there for a violent crime.
But at least starts the
But
ball.
it at least starts the ball because as a woman that wants to have children, because many don't want to have kids, I could definitely see that being a hole in your life that you're like, I pay my debt to society. Now I still have this big hole in my life that I can't fulfill. I can see being a thing. And so if you guys ever just want some light reading, the Prison Journalism Project, it's very, very interesting. And the articles are very interesting. People had different views about George Floyd, about the COVID breakout, about natural disasters and how it's affecting them in prison, or how no one's doing anything. It's very, very interesting. And it's just good these are still people, and it gives you opportunity to tell your own story. So shout out to the Prison Journalism Project and the work that y'all are doing to empower people to tell their own story. And this is the story of Erica Harris. All right, y'all, it's time for...
Well, I'm not black. I'm OJ.
I ain't do it, but if I did, this is how I would have got away with it. If I don't know these niggas, I'm not getting in the front seat. You do not turn your back on men you have wronged, and they are behind you in the car. Hell no.
Absolutely not.
Hell no. I need to be in the back seat so I can see all y'all motherfuckers.
Okay, I got a few. One, don't be a hot girl. If you got a hot boy and he want to go and do the drugs and shit, you don't got to be a hot girl. You don't got to do that. You don't got
I
to
would
do
argue
it.
abusive relationship, and it's that lifestyle is easy to get into. That lifestyle is very easy to be like, oh, babe, I got it for you. We've seen it happen in so many cases.
If you
But I
agree,
definitely like doing your drops.
I ain't do it, but if I did, child lock the doors. If you kidnapping somebody, child lock the doors.
Child lock work on the front passenger side, though?
So then why is he in the front passenger side?
They wanted to sneak him from behind, so they didn't think this through.
Cause I was
Oh
like,
my God.
he needs to be in the backseat on child lock or sitting in between the two of them.
Like the mafia.
Yeah. I didn't do it, but if I did, now you chasing this nigga in broad daylight, niggas can see your face. Put your hood up, something.
That nigga was hot.
I don't give a damn.
You can tell in
You
that
on
video.
camera.
You
Nigga got tired.
That nigga got tired.
They
Mitchell
all
was tired.
They was all tired. Savon tripped and fell and lost his lead. They start going uphill. Everybody winded. They don't got the right shoes on.
Hell no.
I didn't do it, but if I did, y'all was racing. Y'all was racing at your big age through from a moving car through the woods.
Grown folks do not race unless it is Mother's Day, Easter, or Thanksgiving.
You know what I mean?
You drunk after the food, and
Or
everybody
I'm racing
acting
a
fool. Or
kid
4th
and
of
I don't gotta
July.
exert all energy. Like, I don't care who fast at this point. You got it.
Oh no, I don't let children win.
You got it. You said
I do
children
not
win.
let.
No, but I'm saying like an adult. You got it. You absolutely have it. I definitely let children win too, though. Children
You
are,
do?
yeah. Children are still learning how to be losers, and sometimes you just got to give it to them. It's not worth
No,
it.
that's how you learn how to be a loser.
Sometimes you also got to build confidence.
You gonna feel that confidence when you beat me one day. Because you never know. You might be 12 and I might be 42 and I might trip. You won.
Listen, they're not gonna.
Congratulations.
It's only so many times a kid gonna lose to you, and they're not gonna want to race you no more.
That's fine. Sore loser. Better toughen up that skin, my boy.
You gotta build some confidence.
You better brace some other kids if you want to build some confidence. When you want to play with the big dogs, you better ready to run.
I didn't do it, but if I did, if my options are down to take the Xannies or murder him, I'm just gonna take the Xannies. We're just gonna have to figure out how to flip it, charge it to the game.
I don't even think that's the solution either, though. That nigga owes you $800. He needs to figure out how to get you $800. I'm gonna be at your house. I'm gonna make your life a living hell until I get my $800. I'm gonna be out here making sure your ass go to work, and I'm garnishing your wages. Your regular 9 to 5 paycheck drop on which day? You gonna have to give me that, cause you owe me weed.
Listen, you know how
You better,
niggas
you better,
be. Cash
you
App
got a
took the
girl, you got
50
a
out my
bitch.
account already. I don't know what to tell you. Then the afterpay is on automatic. My girl done went and bought a car seat that I told her I was going, I don't got no
Tell
money.
tell your bitch in there that you down $800, and let these motherfuckers know that I'm gonna be at this motherfucking house every morning for breakfast and lunch and dinner until I have my shit.
Listen.
They tired of seeing my face. They better come up with my motherfucking money. I put y'all in small claims court over my $800 drug money. Don't care.
I ain't do it, but if I did, if I agreed to no contact to save my ass from jail, we just gonna have to be no contact. I done already put it on the line for you once, and I was facing this murder charges. By the grace of God, I got free of these murder charges. I be damned if talking to you gonna put me back on murder charges. It's just gonna have to be
You
what it
haven't
is.
seen that post in the discussion group? It was a while ago where it was like, it's something about talking to somebody that you got a restraining order against that make you feel so good. Because from somebody that's actually been in an abusive relationship and had a no contact order, and that person was still living in my house, it is that cycle of abuse that a lot of people that have never been in that situation cannot and will not understand.
But
And so I get where she's coming from, of being like, I felt like I had to stay in contact with him. There were things like, even her mugshot, she got a black eye. I don't know where it came from, but like, she's one of the only people that their current incarcerated photo, like their updated photo, looks so much better than her mugshot. Like, she looks healthier.
mm.
And it could be because she was in a dark place and allowing his darkness to consume her. So I know what it's, I've tasted that Kool-Aid.
Because I was going to say, even without the abuse, I've seen people who weren't even in no abusive thing and just be like, oh, I felt bad for what he was going through in there. And even though they had shit on the line, stayed in contact with somebody who they weren't supposed to be in contact with. And then hear the lights flashing at you. Okay, you about to face all this time. And it's like, oh, no, wait, for real. I won't talk to him now. No, bitch, you had the option the first time. Do what you're supposed to do the first time. And you don't got to worry about the consequences. And that wasn't even the first time. They giving you a second chance to do what you're supposed to do. You still not doing it. Because at least for you, you weren't facing nothing. You know what I mean?
And that's how they added that big murder charge on her. And I feel like, damn, she helped y'all do all that and y'all added the murder charge back. And that's why her sentence is as heavy as it is.
She ain't doing what she supposed to do. Like, she don't
But
realize
skipping
she not
ahead, I don't
paying
think that she
attention.
deserved all that.
She's not
She
understanding that
also
she's
young
already
and
on her
dumb.
second chance. That's the thing. She's not understanding she already on her second chance. She still
She
thinking that was
young,
her
dumb.
first.
She don't even know if this nigga know that he's about to have a kid on the way. Like, nothing makes you want to be up under somebody like knowing that you about to have a kid. It just makes you want to be up under them. Like, we about to build this family. So I could see all of that happening at one time. And they never mentioned in those appeal documents about the fact that she was pregnant. Unlike our case from last week, she was pregnant and hormonal. Like, no one's taking that into consideration. I think they should have at least looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was also my parole or no parole. What do you think for parole or no parole?
Parole or no parole?
I think they could have gave her like a 15. Like, I feel like 15 max.
I feel like she did not hold the gun. She did not shoot nobody. She did help facilitate it. But I don't know about 15 max, but I think she can work her way towards parole. Love that article though, girl. You make me want to let you out in the childbearing years.
You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy to like see a life dream of yours come and then disappear that
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the thing. She shouldn't have been thinking about that nigga. She should have been thinking about whoever was inside of her.
he also, it's him. He's inside of her too. Shit.
I'm telling
His
you, I know
kid.
somebody in this exact situation. And when that shit was not supposed to talk to their baby daddy, who been locked up since found out they was pregnant. But
It's because you have that person's kid, and it's like, damn.
and she gonna be feeling real stupid. Cause now neither one of y'all got that damn kid. Like, you just you got to look out for, like you said, what you say, all your decisions change and become about that baby from that point. She wasn't thinking like that.
It was a hard situation she was in.
She needed to make some
you
hard
need to make better choices.
Yeah.
Definitely need to make some better choices, but oh my gosh, I understand the hard situation. I understand the situation,
But that's
girl.
life is full of hard decisions. You either gonna make the right ones or the wrong ones. You gonna do both. Sometimes you're gonna make the wrong one sometimes. But
when it comes to that, that little.
Yeah.
All right. That is the end of the show. Let's go ahead and read some reviews and go on about our day. If you would like to leave us a review, please do so. You can do it anywhere that you're listening to the podcast. You can leave a 5-star and/or written review. Let the people know that you enjoy us. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If you don't want to leave a review, that's fine. Send it to somebody. Say, oh my gosh, this episode was so great, girl. And I just want to hear your thoughts on fertility.
Fertility after lockup.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Mara.
And I'm Taz.
And welcome back to Sisters Who Kill. Tazzy, have you heard of the snowball effect?
Yes.
Yes, it's kind of like a social law, but I've heard it in school. It's basically saying that one thing that may be small, you keep going. I wish I could have a more definition. But the snowball effect is basically you keep putting a lie on top of a lie, something gets worse and it gets worse. And it's kind of the same illusion as a snowball running down a steep snow hill, getting in bigger and bigger until finally it is out of control.
Mm-hmm.
All right, our players this week are Melissa Latham, our victim, Cal Martin, Tanika's cousin, Tonica Clement, Tanika's mom, and Tanika Jenkins, our murderess. Almost. So Tonica Jenkins was born on May 20th, 1975. She was born to Tanika Clement, who the spelling is the same, but I watched this video, Murdered by the Book, on Prime, and they pronounced it differently. Don't know what that's about. Don't know if it's accurate, but we're going to roll with it. So Tanika's mom was a housekeeper for this white family in Cleveland, Ohio. Tanika was pretty smart growing up, right? In 1996, when Tanika was 21, she went to Cuyahoga Community College in Cleveland, Ohio, and completed one semester before dropping out. She had bigger and better things to do. Her dreams was big, and this community college was not about to hold her back. Sis wanted to go to Yale, right? The Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut. And she was determined to go in the fall of 1997. Her dream was to apply for the graduate's master's degree program in neurobiology, and she met none of the qualifications needed to apply to this program.
I mean, she only had one semester of community college, and you think you're going to go to Yale for neurobiology? No.
She didn't think, she knew. So when she filled out her application, you know, you got to have your test scores and your recommendation letters and your essays. Tanika submitted 2 letters of recommendation, one from her former community college and one from Central State University.
Absolutely.
Somehow she's moved up in this world, right? She's also submitted her SAT scores, her ACT scores, her GRE test scores, and she applied for many scholarships. And let me tell you, her scores were spectacular. So good that she received the scholarships, right? Everything stacked against her. She was accepted to the graduate program just as she planned, and she was awarded $16,000 in scholarship grants and stipend money.
You know, getting a scholarship is a blessing, because I would not have made it through undergrad or grad school. Thank you, scholarships. Thank you for having good grades, Mara. Pat on my own back. Girl.
Yeah, you kept a scholarship.
Because I wasn't going to. Because if I wouldn't have a scholarship, I was going to be on the streets. Okay, so during the first fall semester in 1997, Tanika moved from Cleveland to New Haven to have her bigger and better life, to be a neurobiologist at the Yale University. And somehow she skated through her very first semester. And by the time that the December exams came around, she was not prepared. She wasn't showing up to class. She wasn't showing up to her exams. And she was giving her professors like excuses after excuses after excuses the entire semester. And she said she was sick. She said it was this. She said it was that. But the professors, they started getting real curious. Like, this girl is not going to work out in this program. We are Yale. And this is a graduate program in neurobiology. Like, this is a very serious degree study, and you are obviously showing that this program is too rigorous for you. So they decide that, listen, she can't grasp material. She's performing regularly. Who let her into this program? So the professors go and they pull her records. They pull her application. They pull her letters of recommendation, because there is just at this point, they're like, who recommended you for this? How did we let you into this program? That's how you know you're doing bad. That's how you know you're doing. I mean, like, grad school was a struggle for me, but they at least knew why the fuck I was there. They knew why the fuck I was there. I may have had to work hard, but you knew why I was there. They were like, why is she here? Turns out those recommendations from Cowabunga State University, the recommendation from Central State University, the transcript saying that she made straight A's, the test scores, they were all fake. And somehow she was let into the program. She had forged her way into one of the most prestigious universities in the country. And she, obviously, we told you before, had never graduated from Cowabunga State, community. And she didn't even attend Central State University. And forgery, because, signing your name or signing up for something that is not true, that is a crime. It's not a big crime, but it's a crime. But you know what's a big crime? Grand larceny. Stealing money. That's what she got in trouble for, because remember all those scholarships and grant money that she had? Yeah. Now you got a little over $16,000, and you're going to have to give that back because you did that under false pretense. That means you were stealing. Clearly she was arrested, and clearly she was expelled, and she was arrested with the charges of first-degree larceny and second-degree fraud. Now, when she was leaving the university, they reported that she was leaving kicking and screaming while she was in the police car. She was cussing the police officers out. In December, when she was arraigned, she was released on bail. While released, her defense attorney was like, okay, listen, these charges, they're pretty serious, but they're not too serious. I think that the best thing to do is to not take this to trial. Just go ahead and let's plead guilty. Let's throw yourself at the mercy of the court. And I think that we'll just get a nice little slap on the wrist for this. There's bigger fish to fry in the grand scheme of things than grand larceny and fraud. There really are. And it's only $16,000, and it kind of puts a stain. We can just figure this out, right? They agree. And the court date comes in July of 1998. Her lawyer is standing there. The judge is standing there. Everybody is waiting for her to plead her not guilty plea, which her and her lawyer had talked about. And sis doesn't show up. No one knows where she's at. And y'all know that's not going to fly. Because, ma'am, we're all here for you.
Right. We don't work out a plea deal. We came to an understanding, and you got the nerve to not show up.
What is wrong with you? So, of course, they go find her at her home. She's back in Ohio, and she's just at home. And they're like, ma'am, where the fuck were you? Like, your ass is supposed to be in court. And I didn't see anything saying that she had a bench warrant, but I'm sure since they showed up at her house, there was a bench warrant out for your arrest. Girl, come on now. Where you supposed to be? And she's like, wait. You don't understand.
Why you sound like the teachers in the hallway? Where are you supposed to be?
Isn't that what police officers are anyways? Hall monitors. That's what they said. Where are you supposed to be? So she was like, no, listen. There is a reason that I missed court. Just listen. Just listen.
So Tonica appears in front of the judge in New Haven, and she's here to explain why she could not make it to court. And she informs the court that she was kidnapped. She was taken at gunpoint and forced into the back of the car, into a trunk, and they tied her up, and they only released her to sexually assault her. She says they tied her up. They took Polaroid pictures of her, and she just kept telling the judge that the attackers, they just had this, they were racist, and they wanted to kill or harm her because they were mad that she sullied the great Yale University's name. They put them through this scandal. They embarrassed Yale. You know what I'm saying? You got one over on us. We'll teach you a lesson, right? And she's just like a victim, and she couldn't help. Like,
Right, exactly. She had every intention.
of showing up. But, you know, when you're kidnapped, you're kidnapped. She says, I was only able to get away because I kicked out the taillight of a trunk and it popped open. She said after that, the drivers, they left the car, but they left the key inside, and I drove away to safety. I was just happy to escape with my life, honestly. But, again, I'm so sorry for missing your court date. The judge is like, bullshit, right? I'm not buying a single bit of it. She was like, at this point, you're a flight risk. Your bail is set at $150,000, which she posted. Now, it is hard to confirm if it's true or untrue, but they said before facing bail, she assaulted 2 police officers in the jail. On one hand, it's like, if you assaulted 2 police officers, are they really about to release you? But on the other hand, I hear that the judge was like, obviously this girl's psychotic, and keeping her in jail is not going to help her. Like, just release her. She's mentally ill. Don't hold it against her.
You just got to watch out for her. You know how she is.
Mm-hmm. So it's a couple months after telling the judge and the lawyers her story of how she got kidnapped, right? And all of a sudden, her lawyers get a letter in the mail on a Yale stationery, right? And the letter has Polaroid pictures attached with Tonica bound and gagged. Like, it's proof of the kidnapping. Can y'all believe it, guys? These pictures, they're giving, you know, like when you're watching TV and they're doing a photo shoot